Welcome to this edition of Stream On. I'm Jim Williams, your host. And we got a lot of good things coming up today. We're going to talk about Paramount and their new offering, which is coming up in March. And we'll talk a little bit about what Facebook is going through with regards to them pondering their own news division. But first off, let's talk about something very, very fun. And that is the Mallorca Files. It's a BritBox original. Series 2 of the Mallorca Files will be dropping on March the 2nd. So you'll be able to see it. If you haven't seen it, you really are missing something special. It is a really well-done dramedy that, is fun because it's a whodunit, right? We all love whodunits. And in this particular case, DC Miranda Blake, played by Elen Rhys, and DC Max Winter, played by Julian Looman, might just be the most mismatched pair you've ever seen. But these partners prove over time that they do indeed have the recipe for success. They're very good at what they do. And, Miranda, who's played by, as I said before, Elen Rhys, who will be our guest very shortly, is really your kind of, by the book, straight arrow police person, okay? It's always black and white for her. On the other hand, Max, not so much. Max is cool about going off book. It's that kind of yin-yang that makes this very entertaining, very charming, and a wonderful romp. So, highly recommend you watch the first series if you haven't, because the second series, as I said before, is going to drop on March the 2nd. So, without any further ado, let's talk with Elen Rhys. Elen, thank you so much for joining us, and tell me, what attracted you to want to be in the Mallorca Files?
I think there was so much that attracted me to the Mallorca Files. The fact that it's set in Mallorca, knowing that I'd have to relocate there for about 6 or 7 months over the winter months, being in that gorgeous weather. But as soon as I read the script, I loved the character. I loved Miranda. I loved how difficult she was. And I was like, this is going to be absolutely fun to play. And then, of course, her relationship with Max, which is what's at the heart of the whole show, really. That sort of relationship between them, which I knew would just be, it was just so much fun, all those sort of, there's a tension between them and the will they, won't they moments. But also, it covers so much, the series, and so many different genres. And so there's lots of action, and there's lots of, quite intense and sad stories, and there's lots of comedy in it. So it really did feel like it covers everything. So it ticks so many boxes for me.
It ticks all the boxes. I don't think there's any question about that. And the chemistry between you and Max is, phenomenal. It's great. And, of course, Julian Looman playing Max, the way you guys play off each other is absolutely phenomenal. It's also hilarious at times. I mean, it's, you're sitting there going, okay, she's going to take it this way, he's going to take it that way. And I don't care. I'm along for the ride. I'll go either way they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a joy, it really is. And of all the stuff that we shoot, for me, in particular, the Max and Miranda scenes are my favorite, because they're just so fun and silly, and we always try to, sort of like, what else can we do? What else can we add into here? Like little ways to wind each other up, for them to wind each other up, and like any opportunity to echo things in the past or bring, it's just something that you can just keep feeding, and hopefully, with that at the heart of the series, that's what draws people back to see it time and time again. Yes, there's different cases, and there's if you like the whodunit, where done it, why done it element to it. But I think, like I said, at the heart of it is the Max and Miranda relationship. So the fact that you said that it's just, that it's funny and it's nice to watch means everything to us, really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the key, at least for me, is that you both have this kind of yin yang thing, right? You're the more
Mm.
buttoned up person, and he's the more, well, it's almost by the book. It's not totally by the book. It's close enough to the book.
His own book.
And you're basically looking at him like, you don't have a book, dude. Stop it. So there is, the script writers, the people around you, I mean, it makes it such a joy to watch because clearly you're having fun with it. Clearly the acting is good. So the writing is good. The directing is good in the backdrop of this beautiful, area of the world. Makes for a pretty good cocktail there, my friend.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to think so.
So how tough is it to spend 6 or 7 months in Mallorca?
It's awful. No,
I just want, as a television fan, I just want to thank you for putting yourself there on our account, so that I know it's a tough job, but somebody has to do it.
Yeah, well, I'm taking one for the team,
There you go. You're a player. Okay.
Yeah. It's just wonderful. We're very lucky that we have the best crew over there. It really is like a family. And when you're away from home for 6-7 months of the year, it's really important that you have a really good community there, and we do. And everybody really cares about the show, the crew. And so it's just, and to film in such a beautiful location is incredible. So, yeah, very, very lucky. I really hope we get to go back again, Jim.
Yeah. I'll come with you.
You must.
Yeah, sounds like fun. I'll bring the tequila. We'll have a good time.
Incredible.
The fun part of the show, and there's so many bits of it, is that you get to, I guess this is more of a taste thing, but I like a show that has a very clever context to it. The dialogue is good, but at the end of it, you have a result.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait 3 more, 4 more, 5 more down the road to figure out how this is going to go. But that being said, each one unto itself is fresh, it's new, it's well done. And so, you can binge this without having to worry about, oh, darn, I missed one. Where did I lose? I lost the thread. What the hell's going on? That's not the case. You guys put together a nice, compact product in a time where there's an ending and a beginning and a middle. So that's from a viewer standpoint, it's a lot more fun to watch.
Yeah, and the show was always set out to be, joyous escapism, easy watching. Like you said, they're standalone episodes, so there is somewhat of a payoff if you watch them, in chronological order, especially with the Max and Miranda relationship.
Oh, sure.
But the whole idea is that it's not supposed to be too taxing. It's something that somebody can put on and know that, as you said, they're comfortable, they're safe, they know that it's going to resolve itself nicely at the end, and then you get the little Max and Miranda scene playing out. And you're left with a warm, fuzzy feeling. So, yeah, I think it's just a really nice format.
Okay, Ellen, you've come to this point in time where we go to, let's talk about Series 2, but obviously we can't give away spoiler alerts. So give me a broad brush of what we're looking forward to in Season 2.
I think what we've tried to do is double down on what we believed worked in Series 1. So it's sort of all the best bits and then some. You get to see Max and Miranda's relationship develop, and not only their friendship, but their working relationship. And Season 1 was about the tension and pulling in opposite directions. And Season 2, they become a team, and they sort of build on each other's strengths. And so that's a very different dynamic for them. Which is very nice, and it's been very nice to play. But I think it's just more of the good stuff, incredible locations, good storylines, great guest artists, and, lots more beautiful Mallorca. So, I think if people, it's not too dissimilar from the first series, but I just said, building on the strengths. And it really feels like the show's sort of finding its feet Yeah, and so we felt like we were very much in the flow. It was a shame that we stopped after 6 episodes, but I think he sort of has a clear idea of what it is now.
Right. Let's. Is there any part of Miranda that is like you, Ellen, or is it one of those things where it's a character, you play it, and you'll leave it alone?
I would say that there's probably more similarities than I'd like to admit.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Well, at least you're not playing a serial killer, so that's better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now you open the can of worms. You get to tell us what are some of the things that you're not too happy that you're close to Miranda on.
I think sort of what I really like and can sort of I see a lot of myself in her when, her fight for against injustice.
Okay. That's a good thing.
I like that about her, that she's, yeah. And, also I think being a little bit of a control freak and a perfectionist can be a strength.
No, there's no weaknesses there. You're good so far. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd say that's kind of where the similarities end. I think I'm a little bit of a closed book, but who isn't? I think with someone like Miranda, on paper, when I read the script, she could be a character that could be disliked very easily, especially with the way she treats Max, because he's such a kind, loving, funny man. I was expecting a lot more of people sort of being like, why is she always mean to him? Why is she? But I think I tried very hard to also make people understand why she was the way she was, and that we're all human and we all build up these defenses, and just because I guess we're all really ultimately vulnerable at the heart of it. And so definitely trying to make her human, I guess, and so that people can go, yeah, she's a strange fish, but that they don't hugely dislike her.
Well, I think we all know people like Miranda in so much as it's not that they are dislike, people or friends or family or whatever, but they're very linear thinkers, and it's like, this is the way it's got to be done. Okay, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you're saying to me. This is the way it's got to be done. And rules are rules, right?
And she's always done it alone. She is a lone wolf because she doesn't really know how to let anybody else in. And with Max, she never had a choice. He's just constantly, sort of invading her personal life and personal space, and so she's not used to that. But obviously she becomes used to it, and it just has a really lovely effect on her. It is nice to watch, isn't it? Someone just let their guard down a bit and sort of soften and take a joke. Yeah. Yeah.
You get a chance to kind of peek behind the blinds and say, okay, now I'm getting to, it's fun. I think the character, one of the fun parts about the character is that she is vulnerable, even though she's a go by the book person.
Yeah. And I'm writing down all these wonderful things you're saying about, so I'm going to be using them in the future. Then.
Hey, look, we're here together, right? You got to do what you got to do. One of the things, too, that streaming video has done, it has given us an opportunity to see the fine work like you guys are doing and just enjoy it. For the first time, and I've been in the television business now for 40 years, for the first time, I can honestly say, and I've been with networks, I don't know what the network lineup is on any American television network because I don't watch it anymore. I watch shows from Australia, shows from the UK, shows from Canada, all over the world. And it's such a treat to be able to see almost in real time what you guys are doing with your show and others. And I think BritBox, is phenomenal with giving us your content in real time, because perhaps this may have never, back in the day, this may not have even made it here to the United States. And yet now with streaming video, it's all over the world, and you can consume it anytime you want to. So prime time is kind of whatever time you want to sit down and watch it.
Exactly. I know. We're so grateful for BritBox. It's just so lovely to know that, you know, our show has a space, you know, it's an incredible service, and that our show has a space there that people can sort of go and cherry pick, you know, that's a British TV, I guess, and watch it anywhere. It's just, I feel very, very lucky just to make it accessible to people who wouldn't be able to watch it otherwise, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So what do you watch when you're watching television? What's your jam? Where do you go?
Well, I don't watch much television. I've got a very young son, and he keeps me very busy. But I've actually just been throughout the pandemic watching The West Wing and catching up. Well, not catching up. I'd never watched it, and it was on my list of, you know, when I get a moment, I will, you know, I'll start watching The West Wing because everybody's sort of raving about how amazing it was. And so that's what I've been doing, and I'm making my way through all of the series, and yeah, just absolutely loving it. So that's what I've been watching.
Actually, years ago, I covered the Clinton administration as a White House correspondent. So you'd be surprised how close to what real life is that show is like. It's a very intense situation, and you know, I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah. So, all right, here we come to the time. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. You were saying.
Oh, I was just going to say, you know, it's dated. It's really well. You know, it's made in the 90s, and it's just some of the best TV, and it feels very relevant to now, weirdly, and it's just everything about it is excellent.
Well, during most of the Trump administration, I took time. I watched it just to remind me of what democracy actually looked like. So no need to get into social change there, Jim. But nevertheless, it was a good diversion. All right, we've come to the part where you get to give me shameless plugs about the show, about coming up season 2, and anything else. How we can follow you on social media, what we can do to be involved in making this a success here on BritBox in the U.S.
Oh, that's nice. So what did you say you wanted? For me to give you some spoilers?
You can give me some, whatever you want to promote with the show, or tell us how to follow you on social media so we can keep up with you. So this is your time. Go for it.
That's very lovely. Well, obviously season 2 has aired here, so there's been quite a lot of footage released across social media, like behind the scenes stuff, and like lots of photos and intros and stories on the actors that we had come visit us and play with us. And we're also about to do an online sort of Q&A. We had one with BritBox at the beginning of lockdown. Actually, they hosted me and Julian, which was a really, really big success. And so we're doing another Q&A, possibly with BritBox as well. But I know that we're doing one to engage with our followers here, which will be on the Maestro, the pilot series for season 2, and people get to engage and just ask questions about the scripts and the storylines and the characters, and I think the director will be with us, so that will be like an insight into, I guess, how we go about filming a series and talking about the series and things like that. Yeah.
Cool. And how about you on social media? Where can we follow you?
So I'm at Elen Rhys, I believe. I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I don't ever tweet. But I'm on Instagram, and that's how I sort of keep up to date with people. And there's lots of people from Canada and the US like asking, you know, very excited about seeing the second series. There's lots of involvement, and they seem like really sort of loyal fans. So that's so nice to know that there's somebody out there who's looking forward to seeing the show.
Special thanks to the charming Elen Rhys for joining us today. She's one of the stars of the BritBox original The Mallorca Files. All the information on The Mallorca Files Season 2, which starts on March 2nd, is in the show box below. We'll be back with more right here on Stream On after these words from Ford and a 2021 Bronco.
This country has a strange relationship with the wild. As much as we talk about it and paint paintings of it, and sing songs about how we're destined to be it, we seem to spend every waking hour in places that keep us away from it. So to get back to the wild, we need something built for it. Something that acts like it's been out here before. Because it has. Introducing the return of a legend. The all-new Bronco 2-door. The first ever Bronco 4-door. And the adventure-ready Bronco Sport. Built to get you to all those places you normally only see in nature documentaries. Built for capability, for adventure, for enjoying the open air, on the open road, in the parts of the world without posted speed limits. Because if something is going to be called a Bronco, it better be able to live up to that name. Meet the future of off-roading. The all-new Bronco family.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You know, if you're not one of the nearly 60,000 people who've taken the time to subscribe to our podcast, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, we make it free. It's very simple. You can find us at the Apple Podcast Store. Maybe the Google Play Store? Absolutely. You can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, YouTube, to name a few. Now, if you have an assistant device, right, one of those smart speakers, then all you have to do is say, hey, please play the latest edition of Stream On with Jim Williams, and guess what? They'll do it for you. Now, after all that, if you still can't find us, pull out the old Google machine, type in Stream On with Jim Williams, hit the favorite button or the subscribe button. It's easy for me to say, subscribe button. And each week you get a brand new edition of the podcast sent directly to your phone, your tablet, or to both, okay? We make it very simple, folks. Please go out there and join us today. Okay, what's the big news this week? Well, it's pretty simple. And that is that Paramount Plus launches this week on the 4th. Now, if you are already a CBS All Access subscriber, then this is a simple, change for you. It's just the channel will look different from the standpoint of, instead of having the CBS logo on it, it'll have the Paramount logo, and any problems you may have, very simple fix. Either go to the channel store and download the new one and just re-authenticate, or just hit the upgrade button or update button on your device, and it should take care of it for you, okay? Now, what is this going to look like, okay? It's a $5 billion deal that Paramount has sunk into this new deal with CBS and their partnership. And they really think that they can compete with the likes of Disney Plus and HBO. So we're going to see them unveiling some of their movies that normally would be 90 days before they would hit anywhere close to the consumer. That's not going to be the case anymore. Just like Disney, as well as HBO via Time Warner, you're going to be able to see first-run movies on this platform the moment they hit the movie theaters. So it's a gamble which Paramount thinks they can win, and they think they can compete with Disney and Time Warner. Only time will tell, but we certainly know that Paramount has a very robust catalog, not only of movies, but also of shows. So it's well worth checking into if you haven't already subscribed. This might be a good week to take a 7-day trial of Paramount Plus, but wait until the 4th because it doesn't drop until the 4th, okay? All right. So, once again, that's the big news of the week, and we hope you take some time to go over our friends at BritBox. Check out the wonderful Mallorca Files, which Season 2 will drop on the 2nd, as we said before. And we'd like to thank Elen Rhys, who joined us today as our guest on the podcast to talk about Series 2 of the Mallorca Files, which, as I said, drops on the 2nd on BritBox. And if you haven't had a chance to see the first season, this would be a great weekend to binge watch it, okay? All right, well, for the entire team here at Stream On, I'm Jim Williams saying we hope that you have a safe and healthy weekend. Enjoy yourself out there. It looks like most of the country is going to have some good weather. Get out, have a little fun. Stay socially distanced, wear your masks, and we will see you next week right here on Stream On. Take care, everyone.